Testing, testing. Audio check here. Audio check here. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, got a little. Let this go off for a minute. Oh, I still hear noise. I got like an old Spotify. Huh. Is that playing in my back? Oh God. Okay, try again. So, play some Spotify. I'm gonna get an audio test going. Okay, audio test is going. Turn it down a little bit. I'm talking over the audio. Oh, the audio died. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. This is me testing the audio levels of the stream. Testing 1, 2, 3. Stream testing 1, 2, 3. You guys can barely hear them. Okay. Up a little bit for you. You guys can barely hear them. Okay. Up a little bit for you. You guys can barely hear them. Audio is playing again. I'm talking over the audio. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Do I need to talk louder? Is this okay? Do I need to talk louder? Is this okay? I think that's pretty good right there. Okay, I'll leave it like that. That off. Over here. Everything's good here. Okay. Oh. Ship streams tweet. Oh, ship streams actually work this time. Okay, that's good. Cool, cool, cool. All right. I think we're good to go. Here. This back over there. Okay. Lost a window. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm good to go. All right, let's work on release today. So where were we last time? I need to fix my dock. Bring this up there. Okay. So I have team set up. Good. Git providers. Oh, it got cleared. Okay, so connect to GitLab account. Should connect my GitLab account for me. Good. Repositories will add. Oh, crap, all my teams and stuff. This is the downside of using an external service. Might just change this. Need to think about it though. So I need to make a team here who has what do I need to do? Basically my database got reset because of my tests, but remote auth still has a bunch of stuff connected to it. So So remote auth thinks I'm connected to my two teams, which I am, but in released, I'm not connected to these two teams because I got deleted from released. And okay, I'll just manually fix this for now. I'll need to fix it better later. Team ID from here. The member ID would be here. Okay, let's see if that pulls. Why? Oh, only teams where you have the permission to add new repositories. Because I don't have the permission. Okay, so Owen under released has project owner, and then if I log in as the admin of released has a project owner that has all, oh, I think I changed the name of the permission. A fan. Did I change that? Yeah. It's not add repositories, it's import repository. Okay. This over here. Also post. Give me 1 second to post this in Slack. Although I think most people are asleep. Okay, just in case someone wants to check in. Okay, so we got, that should be fixed now. So if we try that again, try that again here. Emo dogs. Okay, let's go. Good. Okay, so that should be fixed. I'm also gonna add my second team. What was the name? Team 2. They have team ID of, oh, I can't see it. Inspect it. Okay, now I have 2 teams. Should be able to refresh this and see both my teams. Oh, I don't know if both teams have that permission. Yeah, there's no users here. Okay, so team 2, I'm just gonna ignore. Let's scrap that, pretend that didn't happen. Okay. Okay. Should actually fix, oh, I know why. This loading here doesn't belong. Technically it does belong there, but we'll say if we're not loaded, or then we'll do loading, else do the rest of the statement. Why doesn't it like a div in the middle of nowhere? Oh. I need to close it out. Okay, so if it's, that's gonna break this though. Because teams, actually no, it should be okay. Yeah. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so we need to add a repository. I'm just gonna commit this stuff quickly. Prettier. Fix loading when reading. Importing a repository. Good enough. Okay, so Timo Dogs, GitLab account. We'll pull in fake project. Why doesn't it close? We never call the onSave function, that's why, okay. Yeah. Don't really need it. So if we're saving and we successfully save, then we're gonna call onSave. I don't think that should be in the try catch. I think that can be outside. That'd be the very last thing we do. So if type of onSave function, rip that one. Do I need to pass it anything? No. Okay, I'll import again, and it should save and refresh. There we go. Okay. Cool. So I'm just going to delete that duplicate data that will eventually fix. And I'll put that on the to-do list actually here. Say users should not be able to import the same repository than once for the same team. actually, I should put that as a requirement, not a feature. Okay. And now that we've imported the project, we can create a release. We're going to create a release off master. We're going to use the auto version increment. Good. And now here, this is what we're going to work on today. Okay, so call on save prop, saving a form. So what we need to do today is set up a route for the release and basically display some basic data about a release. So first thing we'll do is in our app, we can add, oh, we already have a release component. Oh, look at this, we're already halfway done. So under releases, release ID will be our root. We're not going to do repositories release ID. So we can do, back in our repository, we'll fix our link first. So instead of linking to the repository and the release, we'll just do the release straight up. And then that means when we're here, that goes there. And then that'll take us now to this release component. Most of this is outdated though. Okay. So if we take a look at like our repository and see how we load data here, this is not used anymore. So using use repository, use releases, we probably have a single, no, we don't have a single get release yet. We can do the same thing that we did here. Do I want to group them by type or by, what did I do for repositories? Fetch, use, fetched. Kind of by, there's no structure. I'll just do it by group. Okay, so use a single release. We're going to be given the release ID. We're going to get a single release if that release does not exist, or if it is not loaded, or if it is not loading, or if it's not loaded and it's not loading, we'll fetch it. And then we'll invoke this effect anytime the release ID changes. We'll also return a single release, whether or not it's in the store already, doesn't matter. And when we fetch a single release, what does that look like? Fetching a single release is, we'll get one from the store, and then we'll update any existing information. So under releases, well, how are these stored though? They're stored in an array, which isn't going to work for us. So that's fine. We can just change this here. So when we fetch a list of releases for a repository, we're going to store them by key, and we'll store them by the ID. And let's import that from Kodash. So now releases looks like this. Data. Releases looks like, oh yeah, repository ID, and then repository ID, and in there we have data, and then in there the actual releases. Yeah, that's okay. So fetch releases, fetch a single release. We need to update that information in the store. Except that this time we don't have access to Oh, okay. We don't have access to the repository because we don't know which one it belongs to at this time. So releases is actually going to look like data will just be keyed by the release ID directly. So fetch releases. All this stays the same. We grab the releases from the server. This is plural. And then this is what changes. I need to store if I'm fetching the releases per repository. So a little bit here. Okay. So what would that look like? There is no glue. Actually, could be. Still might be okay, so I just might drop this for now. Set the default state up here to be loading data object false for both of these. And then when we get the releases for a given repository, instead of looking here like this, that's the thing. I need to know if they're loaded though. Okay, well we could return store.releases.loading. Store.releases.loaded. I don't like this though. I could store it separately as two different things like data. I'll leave it like this for now and then I'll fix it in the future. So get releases, it's plural. And what we want to do is get the values of is it where in Lodash? Filter is what I'm looking for. Okay, so I can do filter by an object. So filter store.releases where the repository ID equals the repository ID given to us, and then get all the values. Actually, they'll come back as an array, I'm pretty sure. And then if there's, oh, that needs to be data. Data. The issue with this is I still don't like the loading and loaded. So what I might do here is instead of doing this, do like metadata or Maybe like this. The issue is that the data lives here, but I can do metadata and then, but now you need a second key, so now you need to do repositories actually, and then the ID, and then the loading. And like now look how nested we are. I just get rid of this, just do this. Okay, so when we fetch multiple releases, what we want to do is store.releases.repositories equals store.releases.repositories spread, and in here we'll do repository ID is a new object, loaded false, loading true. We're setting the loading flag. We don't really need this right now. And then once we've loaded, we do a similar thing where we take store.releases, it'll equal self-spread, but also, I guess this should actually come after, shouldn't it? So here I'll take repositories and we'll set the state to true now. So repositories becomes store.releases repository spread and repository ID loaded true, loading false. And then under data, we'll put in our key by releases. And then we'll drop all this. Save. Don't need any of this default data. I mean, we could do repositories here as an object and releases as an object. Okay, and then this should all be good. Now we need to get a single release out of the store. Should be simple. Just have to merge two things again. So this time we'll do store releases data and the release ID. I guess null doesn't exist. And then for loaded and loading, we'll do releases.releases release ID. Actually, I could probably just spread that by itself. We say like on loading state equals this, else the default is loading false, loaded false, and then we'll just put in that. Okay, I think that's good. Hopefully that works. Now let's finish up the rest of this. So when we fetch our single release, we need to update the releases release ID. We'll set those two to true false. When we load, we do it as two different statements. Actually might be easier than this super duper spread. Might change that up there. Then we just do data release ID and equals data, like whatever we got back, that's it. That's what I'll do up here. So store.releases repositories repository ID equals, it's actually a better benefit of storing metadata separately. And then data equals, see now I can't just return it, I have to spread it. Yeah. It's actually good that I noticed that, otherwise I would have introduced a bug. Okay. Here too, like I don't need to do all this. I can just drop this. Boom. Little equal sign. Shift that stuff over. There we go. Okay, fetching a single release. I believe the API method is just /release and the release ID. So we set it to loading, we fetch, we set it not loading, and we're good. We need to do that first though, I think. It's components update. When we get multiple releases out of the store by repository. We get a single release. Okay. No errors in the build. And try. What did we break? That's not gonna work right now. Okay, so close. Something went wrong here. It did fetch the releases though, so that's good. It's just not updating on the way back. Okay, so use repository returns get repository. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Use releases returns a releases object. Loading. Oh, these are not right. Needs to be repositories. This is where we can do that spread trick that we did here. So, repositories, repository ID, fall back to that. And when we get here, spread, and data can be returned as is. Cool. That worked so far. And then, okay, so now on our release page, we should be able to use get release. So const release equals get released or release ID. Now we need to figure out where we get this stuff from. So just like we did in our repository, the first thing we need to do is provide store. So we have access to the store, and then provide match, which is the router. So I can just copy this, change this to be a const, we'll arrow this out, bottom, and I think I need to import collect. And then it says match isn't used, that's because it comes here and we use it like that. And then get release. Yep, we can import that. And then just to make sure we're doing it right, we can console.log release. And if release.loaded is false, not that, false, return null for now. Fix that after. So we can create a release. I think our filter's probably not working. Okie dokie. This is why you should have unit tests. Oops. Releases. So what's going on here? What's up with our data? We put it back. Oh no. Key by. I don't know if filter works on objects like I'm thinking it does. I would think I'd have to convert it to a... Let's just try this. Values first and then... Nope. That's how you use filter though, right? Like I'm not... Out to lunch, am I? given an array matches that. Repository ID is given repository ID. Is that a string? I do a release and then arrow function release that double equals. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. I mean, I guess I could convert that to an integer, but wonder if I should just do that. Just do like const release or repository ID equals this. No, how do you do it in JavaScript? And then if that's not an int, it'll blow up, but we can address that again in the future. I'd rather the filter method be simpler. Something like that. Okay. We got a release. We got release number 2. Our fetch didn't go off. Why didn't our fetch go off? Use release, we need to fetch a single release if not loaded and not loading. If should return false by default. Go back. And then it should hit this. We should set it to true. We should fetch. Didn't even happen, so it didn't get that far. Let's see what this is returning. False. Log fetching. If release does not exist, or what am I doing wrong? Wait, why? Why did it keep logging the same thing? Logging this, not... I used get, not use. Be punished for that one. All right, there we go. We fetched the release from the server. It returned the wrong thing, which is fine. That's probably because the API is wrong. Let's see. Yeah, we don't have a get on a single release, which is fine. Wire this up real quick. Comment it out. Leave me alone. Get release controller. do single method controllers for this project, so we'll invoke a request, and we'll return a release resource that contains a release, find or fail the release ID. Wow. Okay. Oh. Don't need that anymore. That should be okay for now. Not okay at all. API release 2, what's wrong with that? Releases. You can see that. We can go back to plural. Cool. So 404, better than nothing. Definitely does exist. I wonder if it thinks that the looks different. I wonder if it thinks the ID's wrong. No, see? Because it's... Well, I had this issue the other day, I think. Oh, get repository controller. I can just do that. I'll live with that. I think you have to do param instead of input. Yeah. Work with me here. So we fetched an actual release, which is good. I think it thinks we're still not loaded though. Let's just make sure that we're rendering. Render release, put in the release. Yeah, it doesn't think that the release ever finished loading because copy paste. When in doubt, copy paste out. Okay, so we have partial success. We can load a release. That took a while. It has no ID for some reason, even though it does. Oh, because we need to get the data object. Whew, that took a while. Oh my god, gigantic spider. Oh, he's gone. When was that? Oh, that was a minute ago. Are you still there, Mr. Albino Reindeer? That's a goofy name. Okay. What did we need to do? So at this point, we don't have a name for the release. We don't know what version it is. We do know the author. We know if it's a draft or not. So we can put some of that stuff in the header. So we'll use our good old Flexbox and move some stuff over, and then we'll copy from our release summary a badge. And I might want to put on a size prop here. Yeah, maybe a little. It's a little small. By default will be extra small, but why did it format that like this? That is gross. Like, what the hell? Fortunate. Okay. Oh, now we can add size, like text, I don't know, base. What? Size. What am I doing wrong? Size. X large. Oh, I put it on the summary. My bad. Let's close that. I think large will be too big. Base is too big too. But just small. Okay, so it's a draft. We could put in some metadata. Actually, what we could do is right beside that, even do another, make a div here, and then do the author name and then the badge. This is all temporary because we'll change it in the future. We'll put the author, hack a space in there. That's fine. Good enough for now. What I want to focus on next is actually the release notes portion. So like here, you do some text area thing and say, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's right. Actually, can you control in it? Actually, doesn't matter. I don't want a Markdown component anyways. GitHub release notes form. Interesting. Okay. Hey, this is like the tool I'm making. Garen. Node module to publish release notes based on commits between the last two tags. Yeah. What I want to do though is check I want to know what format release notes and what supported features. GitHub API create release. Yeah, some bugs there. Is this the latest version? Version 4. Oh wait, GraphQL. The fuck? Okay, so version 3 is the... Oh, does it say... I assume it just takes like regular Markdown stuff. So can we see what it looks like? Yep. Source or source? This. Here, here, here. Okay. Come on. Okay. Empty. Didn't even render anything. What the heck? Like literally didn't render anything. Oh, can you not edit? Is this just a parser? No, I'm not using that. Ugly, but so like if I make a release in GitHub, how does it? Let's go to the preview. Yeah, okay. It's like the most popular one, you know? I just want like the Go to editor of Markdown in React. Hey. Not too bad. Buttons are kind of goofy, but I can deal. Oh, you're watching me, Jeff? Parse down. Wait, what does parse down do? Right markdown text on the left, hit parse. See the results. But I need the editor because I want to be able to let them edit it. Or I guess what you're saying with this is you do like a raw text box and then you send it to the API and it comes back. Oh, he's watching on YouTube. Damn. Impressive. How's it look? Yeah, I just wanted to have like the... Where did GitHub go now? GitHub buttons. Actually, what does GitLab do too? I've never seen GitLabs. On Twitch as well. I assume you found it via the tweet though. How do you even make a release? Oh, releases. Oh yeah, you can only do it in the API, that's right. Okay, so scratch that. I mean, this one was pretty good. Oh, not this one. Nope, not that one. This one. I'll just change the buttons. Oh, what is this all about? Ooh. This one's pretty good too. It's pretty simple. What does that do? Oh yeah, so you can customize what extensions and stuff. Okay, that's cool. Decent. Oh yeah, so you can change up all the styling. Well, I'll just start with this one and see what happens. Let's uninstall what we just installed. Is it uninstall or remove? Must be uninstall. Okay, then we'll install this one. We'll use it up here. Markdown. Markdown. Oh, good. It even exports it as a name prop. npm run watch, and then its props are initial content, which is our default release notes, and icon set, hopefully defaults. I don't have either of those, so hopefully that's not a big deal. I wonder if there's one. Actually, you know what I'll do? Is I'll just do a hacked down version using this. Oh, never mind. Using... Ooh, done right. Yeah. Good. Actually, what was that first one I was on? Go back. Take Jeff's recommendation and just do... Why can't I go back? Oh. Text area. And I'll use this just to render it. So that way I don't have to worry about icons and features and styling and stuff. It's just super duper simple. Oh, now he's on Twitch. Markdown. Yep. And like, ideally you don't have to write them from scratch either. You're just like editing what was pre-generated for you. Okay, so that'll be that, and we'll do text area like we had before. Oh, that's what I was gonna look up before I got on the Markdown train. Oh, wait, let me fix that little bug. No, you can't. Hang on. Okay, try again. I can see it though, even though it blocked it. What does Dillinger do? Is it just like an editor for you? Open it over here. You guys can see. Dillinger.js. Oh yeah, Markdown it. That's the one we just clicked on. Does it output though? This one just outputs straight up HTML, right? And this guy. He doesn't say what he uses. Remark. Okay. Oh, yeah, keep area controlled, text area, React. Just when I get to it, I just start to search. Oh, it does use a value attribute. Value equals blank. Good. On change, we'll do some state stuff today. How should this look? Should we just do it and pop up? I got confused on text area because in HTML, you put the value in between the tags, right? But in input, you use value. And then in React, I had to make sure what one was controlled. If you controlled it with value or if it was controlled with children. We can probably just put it inline and hit save for now. Okay, so let's say release notes. Do this. So we want to have some local state to the component that was fed from our release. But if we do it like this is not going to work. Let's call them notes for now. We can't do release.data.notes because data will be null. And if we do this, then when data is not null, let's just default to an empty string. It's not going to update. Well, let's see what happens. But I'm fairly certain this won't work. I don't know why I deleted that at the end. I wonder how you're supposed to solve that problem. Okay, but now if I have some release notes like, yo, what up? Yeah, empty. But if I were to feed them, I guess you could kind of be dirty about it. No, let's see. So by default, it's an empty string. If we put in on here, release.data.release notes. I don't want to refresh that. That works. But now, how do we say? This is tricky. I don't know how you would do this without using another component. Maybe that's the answer. That seems weird. Although that would probably be the answer for me anyways, because I don't want to have this as an inline editable thing anyways. Be all broken. We want it as like a preview. Like this to start. I need to change my headphone. Dead. This to start. And then we'd like edit the release or something. Or edit the release notes and then yeah. Even do it in a modal maybe? I don't know. No, because there's probably gonna be multiple things we want to change, like the version number. They can actually override that still. The commit they can't change. The date they could change. And we need to have a pre-release flag. Yeah, okay, so there'd be an edit page. Okay, so we're back here. We create a release. We got the release. We edit it now. Oh. Where's all that stuff gonna go though? It's okay. Figure that out after. Not a button. I need a nav link. To releases, edit. I don't know. Edit. Something like that. Edit release. This stuff can just get thrown down here for now. Clean that up later. Find my link, please. Okay, we edit it, and then we need to make the page. Edit release. Solving right now. Sorry, I didn't see your message. Wish it like lit up or something when new messages were typed. So I'm gonna have the release page like this as like read only, so you can like just like view a release. Like if you go back in time, you could just view them, and then edit release will let you change the notes, the version, the dates, if it's a pre-release or not, etc. And then beside edit will be publish with like a confirmation. Why's this by himself? Edit release. Edit release. This needs to be a JSX file. Edit release. Most of the stuff we'll still use, not all of it though. Call it edit release, whatever the idea is. Blah, 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 blah. Good, good. Text area here, back to having our value. This time, oh, I know what I need to look up. I need to find like initial props, like React get initial props from no component. Oh, actually, no, I don't need to do this. I'm kind of stupid today. Okay. I can just do notes here. On change. E set notes, E target value. Yada. Good. Preview it here with notes. And then notes will be using hooks. React.useState, and then the default state will be the release data release notes. However, release will come as a prop as fudge no. Because I made its own page, it can't come as a prop. Crap. That's okay. I will have to think about this though and figure out what I'm going to do there. You need to do like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's almost like use effect, I guess. And then your only dependency is, maybe we could try that, I guess. React, use effect. And then in here, our dependencies are release. Can I do release loaded? And then if it's changed, we just set the notes to release.data.release notes. We still need to handle the situation where release is not loaded yet. And then we'll fall back to an empty string. And then, oh, in here, if it is loaded. I don't know, maybe that'll work. And then that'll only get called when this changes, in theory. What does it not like about this? No such file, because I changed the file. Okay, so we have a release page, we have an edit release page, click the link, everything's good. Once this is working, I'll set up the form like I did in the other component. So this is my edit page. Looks the same as the other page Wait. Need to flip these. Okay, good. Progress. Oh, we don't have a loading state on our edit page yet. So for now, just real quick, release.loaded, return null, fix all these later. Cool, cool. So, hello, good. Value prop on text area should not be null. Where did I make it null? Notes has a default value of empty string, unless this came back as null, I guess. Yeah, and that would have came back null from the server. Fair enough for now. Yeah, that's fine. And then in the situation where we have notes already created, they just load. And when we refresh, they just load. Okay, so the use effect thing did work. Cool. Cool. The only thing I don't like about using just a normal text area is you have to manage the height yourself. But do you have to with these other ones? Okay, so can you use Dillinger on its own? Oh, it's just using Ace, okay. Well, I wanted to see if in GitHub, I don't think it like auto scrolls or auto grows either. It's just like you're saying, super big. Oh, it does. Look at that, magical. Okay, to a minimum. Okay, or to a maximum. Okay. Still seems like it can only go like... It went bigger by itself. What is it doing? Oh, maybe not. I wonder if it's like dynamic so that it makes sure that like... Nah, maybe not. Yeah, no, it just goes to some height. Okay. Fair enough. Oh, it did. It went farther when my window was bigger. Huh. Cool. Alright, so rows, let's just give her like, I don't know, 20. Is that even enough? No. Make it real big. Maybe 30. And then we could probably do the split. Wonder if there's enough room though. The half and half. Flex box this. And class. Now this is getting out of control. Now I just gotta use a different plugin if I'm gonna tab it, you know? I'm gonna have to tab it though because I don't have enough space. This is pretty neat. Well, how do you make white space though? What I should do is take this and see what GitHub renders it as. Yeah, okay, so it's the same. Can you take just the... I don't... Well, actually, I could do GitHub, and then I could do, if your repository is GitLabs, and then if your repository is Bitbuckets. That's a good. Add Markdown styles from specific Git provider when releasing it. Cool. That will be a feature. Hello, third eye Cyclops. Non-breaking space. With a P. Okay, so yeah, let's just do some little state magic, I guess. So another constant, tab, set tab, react, use state. Really need to change my headphones. Give me 1 second. Well, it renders fine, like it renders properly. It's just, it'll be nice that when we have, wow, I sound really different here. Hear myself talk. There, okay. It'll be nice to see like exactly how it looks in GitHub versus GitLab versus Bitbucket, depending on which one your repository is connected to. Okay, let's see. Testing, testing. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. All right. My audio changed. Let me know and I can fix it. Okay, so we're setting state on tabs. Editor can be by default. I'm not sure. This is good. Thank you. Okay, so we'll need button, I guess. On click, we'll set the tab to editor. And another one for preview. Oh, thanks for the sub, Rapid Plays 06. Appreciate that. How'd you find the stream? As in, how did you come across it, not how is it? You know. I don't even need to do that. We might switch this up. All right, get rid of that flex here. We don't need this. Oops. Put some styles on these buttons. Use what we learned today on Laravel and online to style your applications. Just kidding. Cool. And I guess we could add it an active class maybe. Trying to think of what it should look like. Use a toggle like a. Yo, what up, Josh? Trying to think of that one library we used to use. Toggle switch is what I was thinking of. Use a toggle switch. That's fair because then it like not like this one, but dude, it's way more work. I mean, it could just be the button, no? And I'll just like make it pretty in a future release. Tailwind has a toggle. I'm trying to think of like on off button. I can't think of where I could see one in my head. Almost like this, like. Yeah, low priority, exactly. Yeah, I'd have to use the radio there. But I was just gonna do like, instead of link, I'll change get off link, go button, not primary. Primary for one, and like not, I'll leave the active there for now. You know, just like something stupid. Oh, what do we break? Yeah, using Tailwind. Checkbox for toggle? But then couldn't you check like both of them at once? Good enough. What I was gonna do is put this here. Oh, I see what you're saying, Jeff. Sorry. Last name's package for conditionally adding. I mean, yeah. Okay. So editor, this, list. Good. Okay. Close enough. Why is my button still too big? Oh. I don't know if I have small button classes. Not right now. Okay. Should I even put it in a label so it's accessible? Should I be responsible? You got the caps. Gotta love that bot, right? What am I doing? He doesn't like that. On change. I have to change all this now. E. Show preview is E. Target checked. Is that how you check it? If we're not showing the preview, then we do that. Otherwise, we do. It was good. I mean, Jeff watched it too. Psychobot there. I don't know. I don't think I'm a big believer in conferences. But like Josh, didn't I see you tweet it? I thought you tweeted the screenshot of it. Oh, I was right there. Hey, weren't you watching right there? Oh, okay. Cool story, bro. Let's just add a little margin here. Okay, there. Jeff got his way. Oh, actually, one thing I haven't done it yet in Tailwind is cursors. Cursor pointer. Oh, okay, I see. Coincidence. Okay. Accessible. I'm using the keyboard right now. Everyone should be happy. Look at this. Oh, speaking of accessibility, look at this. I'm on this page. I hit tab, go through all the menu items, go right to the blue button, space, tab, down arrow, enter, tab, down arrow, enter, tab, type. I hit enter, submits the form, tab, cancels it. Oof. Unbelievable. Okay, I need to put this in a form. Most of that component did for me, but pretty proud. Okay, so we need our form. We'll throw that here. We'll throw everything but the two divs. I don't need to render the extra div there. I'll take that away. Import form. Okay, now we'll put user can edit the version and notes and what else did I say? Something else. The date. Oh, I need a date picker. What am I doing? Release data version on change. Need some more state for that. I think notes even could be, I think I'm gonna move notes after I do this. So we'll have some form state, set form. It's actually gonna be identical to the other one that I did for add repository. The one thing I wish you could do with hooks is like provide a way to have a custom setter method. Because like right now it gives me back this set form, which changes everything about the state. And then I use my own update form, which calls set form. So like it spreads it for me. And then everywhere I never use set form, I just use update form. I wish I was like, maybe, no, that's the only argument. It'd be cool if it was the second one. Second argument, but oh well. So then I just have to copy paste this everywhere I go. I guess I could move that. Extract that myself, but it'll be a different day. Okay, so our form has basically 4 inputs. Version, notes, release date, and is pre-release. Actually gonna make these match the backend. I'll have to change them later. And then, similar to what I did here, actually, this is actually different than the other one because we have to first tweak release. So the default state would be whatever the release is, or if the release hasn't loaded yet, then it's our fallback. It would be release.data. Else default. We don't need this anymore. And then in our effect, we can just update form to save or set the notes. And then everywhere else, we just read form.version, form.notes, and notes. Then on change, we can do the event, update the form, and set version to e.target.value. All right. Oh. Set notes still called. Yeah, that's decent. To play around with the styles a bit more, but closer. Then we have to indicate if it's a pre-release with a checkbox. So checked is true if is pre-release. And when we change it, we set it to how does GitHub indicate pre-released? This is a pre-release. Needed. Shit. Oops. Put it on the wrong element. Okay. Not quite centered, but that's okay for now. Again. Worse. How do I... As I did this stupid inline form, how do I get... What's a good design idea to get notes to look the same without taking up too much space? Oh, why do I got my panel body? Uh-oh. Where are you guys going? Okay. So I want to have a form item, 4 notes. That'll be release notes. And then in here is all the stuff we just did. And now it's going to be like narrow, well, 3/4 narrow. I guess that's not too bad. Let's fix this. Oh, where did it? Oh God, can I go back? How do I copy song link? Hang on 1 second. What is this app supposed to be? The easiest way to explain it is not at that website, but instead maybe at this one. So ideally what it's going to do for you is, assuming you use commit messages that indicate the change in your commits. Like if you have a major change or a breaking change, if it's a minor change or a patch, etc. It'll scan through your commits between now and your last release. Appreciate the subscription. It'll scan through your commits, determine what the highest change was. So like if it was major, minor, patch, and then basically generate your version number for you. So it knows what version you're currently on. It knows how it's incrementing, generates your version number for you. And then based on settings, generates your release notes based on your commits or your pull requests. Yeah, and then in addition, like if your app has a Twitter account, it'll tweet out, hey, new release version 4.10, read the release notes here, right? And then it links to the release notes and everything. The whole point is that you can release your software by just clicking release in the app. You don't have to go through, like GitHub's is okay, but like right now I have to do 1, 2, this is optional, but ideally you do it like 3 things and then release, and then I have to go to my deployment service and click deploy, and then I have to go to Twitter and say, hey, new release. Then I have to go to MailChimp and say, hey, newsletter, new release, right? It should be, all the data's there and it's in the computer. It's just like, oh, none of it is together. Hopefully that makes sense. And like Sagobot there has is a creator of ViewSelect. I don't know if you've heard of it. Pretty popular. But anyways, so he's made 32 releases, right? And like pretty good detail in his release notes. And then the reason why I thought of doing the project was because I have these like 4 tiny, super tiny libraries for remote auth, the other project I work on. And I have like 14 releases, and they're all like, there's nothing to them. This is just for development. But it was such a pain just to release these. So like I couldn't imagine what it's like for Jeff or for other people releasing production ready stuff, you know? So. Okay, what was I doing? Got distracted. Oh, I think I was going to put some margin on that. Does this support custom class names? No. That at end because it's more optional. Losing my mind, I can't remember what I was doing. Getting micro distracted. Okay, I was gonna pre-paint class names in here. Just put them at the beginning too. No, at the end so you can override them. Even though it doesn't really make sense. Yeah. So now go back here. I can put release notes, class name, empty, give it like. Actually, I didn't even want to put that on that element. What am I doing? Brain. On. Oh. Yeah, I don't know how, like, if I get closer to the mic, is that better? Or is that, like, too overblown? And if I talk louder, is that better too, or is that too loud? It's really hard to figure this shit out. I need a better mic. Oh god. Okay, that can't be margin because it's not a div. It's not block level. So I'm just gonna do this. Throw all this shit in here. Why did it? Yeah, that's good enough for now. Oh, we need a button, obviously. I'm just gonna take the same one from the add repository, pop up. Okay, there. Add repository. Main button will be save release. It'll be our submit button. Otherwise, we'll cancel. We don't have to do anything on cancel for now. Actually, cancel could just be a nav link that goes to releases release.data.id. Yeah, that's fair. And cool. I don't know why it can't import the nav link. It imports everything else. But and like it knows right there where it's gonna come from when I try to type it myself. Oh man, I refreshed my chat. I don't know if anyone said anything. Okay, so save release. Version, we don't have a version right now. Release notes, yeah. We save it. We click cancel, we go back, perfect. Okay, so version. I don't know if I should be prefixing the V. Or I should let them. I think it should be optional. I'm gonna put that in the GitLab. Add option to prefix versions with string. I don't know. It doesn't have to be a V, it could be anything. Oh, that's right. For example, I want to prefix my version numbers with a V, while others do not. Yeah. Oh. What was that red flash? It said I couldn't save it. Okay, so editing the release, we have release notes. We'll type in here, we'll click save, doesn't do anything. And then, why did this happen again? Okay, so I guess we could quickly wire up saving the release, and then I'll probably call it for tonight. So let's quickly, I'm gonna commit and just say like front end updates or editing a release. Then we'll do some back end stuff. So make an API method right beside the getter of a put. And we'll call it update release controller. And then because Laravel is so awesome, we'll comment that out. Generate a new controller down here. Oh, the mic is a little bit too high. Put that back in, open it up. Come on. Okay, so we'll have a single method, invoke. And in here we'll have an update release request. Doesn't exist right now. And then in the method there'll be some. Do we have to do any extra? I think extra checks. We probably will. For now though, I don't really care. So release equals. We'll find the release. And then at the end of the method, we'll return a new release resource, which is the release. And then in between, we'll just update with I think it's probably safe just to mass update. Something like that. Keep it simple. Then we'll make this guy. So in order to update a release, you need to have the same permissions you need to create a release. So copy. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. Well, you need to be logged in. You need to be able to belong to the team. You need to be able to create a release. Yeah, I guess that's fair. And the only difference is we could just use policies for this now. Clean it up. I don't have a policy for create because it doesn't work. But instead we can copy this stuff, put it into the update policy. So we already have the release. You can say, does the user belong to the team that owns the repository? And then does the user have the permission? Okay. And in authorize, we just return this. Authorize. update. And then you have to pass the release. Josh, are you still there? You know Laravel, right? If you're still there. Do you think... No, don't answer this question based on what Laravel does, but based on your personal opinion. Do you think that Laravel, when validating a form request such as this, should call the authorize method first or validate the rules first? In your personal opinion. Oh, it's not authorized. I'm doing. Oh, it's user authorized. That's why. I just don't even do. See, I'm of the opposite opinion because, like in this case, right? I want to validate that the release that they're talking about, that they have permission to. But, well, hey, let me finish this and then I'll show you why it doesn't work. Okay, so like let's say I have an ID parameter that is required. I don't know if this is even big enough for you guys. Is required. It's a integer and it needs to exist in the releases database based on the ID column, right? Okay. So that's my request. Currently authorize is called first, like you said. But the issue is here, I go to like find the release because I need it for the authorization. And it throws a 404 because find or fail fails. When in reality, it should have hit this first so that we knew it failed right away. And then here, I don't even need to do find or fail because I know that it exists. You know? I made a PR, or not a PR, an issue about it tonight. It used to be like the way I said in 4.x, and they changed it in 5.0. Just like some guy submitted a PR and changed it. And I made an issue tonight saying like I understand why it is the way it is because of what you said, but it makes our life harder because I have to do like extra checks and authorize. And on top of that, whoever calls my methods, like my endpoints, they technically get the wrong response. You know, because authorize is gonna... Actually, I don't even know if that would throw a 404 or 403 if authorize catches the 404. I'm not sure. But like a better solution is if I did this and then did release and this, then that throws a 403 when it shouldn't be a 403. Okay, so we have our request. We have our controller. Import our request. I think that's it. Make a test. Copy our existing tests. Update release test. Is there... Oh yeah, I still have to do my setup stuff here. It updates a release. Okay, so given we have a release, a factory. I think I have a factory method for that yet, though. Nope. Open this up. Okay, so a default release looks like version, increment, branch, User repository crap. Not the right repository. Branch we need in here, and what else? Faker. That can just always be master, doesn't matter. Increment can always be auto. Version can always be null for now. Status, default to draft. Commit hash null, release date null. Okay, that's fine. Don't even need that. So we have a default release. It's the heavy integration with testing of Laravel. I've been balls deep in that. That's here so much. That is true. It is very nice. Do you use Jest for your JavaScript stuff? I have a repository. My user's set up to have the right permission. Everything should be fine. Oh, sorry. Do you use the Jest testing suite? Test your JavaScript? How do you do this in... Yeah, I think I prefer the tools like that. I prefer Jest because it's like interactive and fast, you know, parallel testing. But I like that Laravel has it like built in, ready to go with unit testing and with Dusk. Although I've never used Dusk. I think I might on this project though. Keep my API methods like my API tests pretty small, and then I might consider that using Jest. Or using Dusk, I said Jest. Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. At my old job, I used Jest to like run Puppeteer. That was pretty cool too. This was like when Puppeteer first came out. Okay, what am I doing here? So let's just update the version to be 1.0.0. The release notes to be these are updated notes. And we'll test that we can update technically the date, I guess, too. We'll update that to be Carbon now. Actually, we'll change that a little bit. The date will update to be... Man, my computer's so laggy when streaming and OBS is open. Okay, so we can update, assert successful, and then assert that we get our changes back. What's wrong with that? And then assert that in our releases table, we have a release with ID of the proper release, and then our changes are in there. I think testing that date is gonna fail though, but we'll try. See how it goes. Okay. That's all good, hopefully. I'll run our test. vunit hyphen filter. Oh, I'm posting instead of putting. API release, I think, is it releases? Releases, plural. 500, that's what we like to see. Authorize on array. What? Is he? User's not a method on request, is it? Okay, I need to go to the Google. Google. Validation. Oh no, I guess policies is the easiest one. Oh, can. SOB. Come on, man. All right. Progress. I don't think our release notes are in our fillable. Nope. This is why we have tests. Cool. It passed. So now, in the front end, I think we should be good to update that stuff. Leave a little commit there. Push that up. Check out what Josh sent. Python version. Interesting. Okay. Front end would be the edit release component. And then we need to have a couple functions here for our form. First is going to be save. Second is going to be on save. Third will be validate. So on save. I think on save all we need to do is redirect back to the... I don't know if we should stay on the page or redirect back. Probably redirect. How can you... How do you like tell it to go somewhere without clicking a button? React router navigate on programmatically. I want to do it without a component though. Is that possible? History.push or whatever. Oh, he had it right there. Like this. And then How? Oh, I guess history would be passed in this case because it'll probably come in here. Maybe, I don't know. Just log it and see what happens. Oh yeah, okay, easy enough. Okay, so on save we'll do history.push, and we want to go to releases, release.data.id, and then on save we'll pass into form along with save and validate. And I'm gonna look at my previous one so I can remember how you use this component. So validate returns an object like this. For now there'll be no errors. And save return, oh it's async and it just calls something. I'll need to update the store thereafter though. So here we'll call releases with the release data.id. Import X. Oh wait. Import. What else do we need to change? I wonder if I should be using a patch here instead of a put. But for now, I'll just spread the release in here. And then do... Actually, I can spread the form too because the form is the same. Version notes. That actually should just be release notes. And then everything else is good. Release notes. Notes. See you, Josh. Okay, and then when I save, then I need to put it back in state. So releases. I mean, I could just do the dirty for now and just mutate it directly. Release equals this. We'll say store releases. Data release ID equals release. I think that should be enough. Try it, see what happens. Things always break, that's fine. Oh, I already lost my notes. How could I have lost my notes already? Release data. Release notes. Oh, here, that's why. Okay. So we'll update to version 1.0. These are updated notes. Error, okay. Response data message, so our oh shit. There's let's just log out in our form. What happens when we catch that error? Class is probably going to be undefined, I think, though. Yep. So error, 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 error. It threw me the same. What? Oh, okay, I see. Release is undefined. How could release be undefined here? Calling save and then say release. So I'd redefine it right there. Haha. Derp. Okay. Try this again. Version 1.0.0. But does it think the version's null? Okay. So let's get rid of these logs. Let's fall back to an empty string. Let's refresh. 1.0.0. These are the changed notes. Fail. So did our store not update properly? Releases data. That's probably why. Release.data.id. Okay, so version is now 2.0. Undefined. Okay. So we saved it properly. On save all the release data. It exists here properly. Release.data.id, but we pushed to undefined. Very confusing. What if we... Why is this not working? I wonder if we could do instead. Const response equals whatever save returns. I mean, this is not any better. Because this is going to be undefined here, I think. Oh, maybe not, we'll see. It's not working. One and then undefined. Oh. Right? That's why? It's like before it would have worked too. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna revert that. I like this better. This doesn't need to take in response. We just do whatever we want here. Okay, refresh. Edit. 3.0, save, good, update, list, good, okay. 4.0, our release page, we can just update this to be the version, else generating. Okay, and then same thing here. In our edit release component, version, else, generating. Okay, they're separate states right now. Decent, okay. Not too shabby. Okay, I'm gonna call it there. There might be one person watching. If you're still there, appreciate it. Otherwise, talk to you all later.